Okay, good evening. And we're having class on branches of linguistics today. And last time we discussed what is linguistics, and they also talked about the different features, and we define linguistics as the scientific study of language. After defining this, today we are going to talk on the different branches of linguistics. That means how linguistics function has been classified. Okay, so let me share my screen here at the first. Yes. Mhm. I'll share the whole screen. Okay. In case of the branches of linguistics, especially we have to know what are the different classifications or how linguistics classified into the different natures that you have to know. With this nature, especially, we know that linguistics is the study of language, both in general and the particular. That means it studies about languages and studies or language. There are two things. Here you can see languages and a language. Yes. So could you distinguish between languages and language? Anyone? What are the differences between languages? There is one part, and another are language. Can anyone tell something about the differences between a language and languages? Can anyone speak?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So in these cases, languages, there are so many languages in the world. English, Nepali, Maithili, Japanese, French. These are what? These are the languages. Language in general. Like in the world, there are so many languages. There are so many communities. There are so many societies. Then if we start learning about these all languages, is it possible? It is not possible. So this is what out of these languages, and linguistics also studies about some particular language, like all language, a given language. So now we are studying English language. This English language is all language. That's why languages means many languages in the world, all the languages in the world that is spoken worldwide, and all language is the particular language, given language. For example, English is the example of a language. Nepali is the example of a language. Japanese is the example of a language. This means what? It focuses on the points of view on what we are going to do. This is the matter. That's why languages is the general term. There are the several languages. There is the connection of all types of languages one. But all language talks about the particular language. And in this linguistics, in the classification of the linguistics, in the branch of the linguistics, we will be dealing on all language. Yes, we will be dealing on all language, not with the languages. It is not possible. Like there might be some like universal features of the language, but it creates the problem. It creates some different types of the challenges with us whenever we start learning all language at the time. That's why we need to particularize the language. We need to specify the language, and we are studying one given language. And that given language is the English language, and this English language is known as the all language. Do you get my point? That's why all language is the particular language, given language. For example, now English is the example of a language. Then similarly, we can say the branches of the linguistics is the classification of linguistic fields according to the different point of view. There are the different realities, different points, Based on with these different points, we can classify linguistics into different parts, different aspects, or different parameters. Or this means what? How linguistics contribute into the different fields. There are the different fields of study. Just you can take example. You are studying compulsory English, you are studying major English, you are studying education as the compulsory subject, you are studying the different aspects of it. You are studying the different fields. So similarly, what are the area or what are the aspects or what are the fields are covered by the linguistics is known as the branches of linguistics. That's why branches of linguistics is the area covered by the linguistics. Area cover. What kinds of area or what are the different sorts of the coverage of the linguistics? Next thing is several understanding and context of the study. Yes, different people has or different community has or different language or speech community has a different understanding in case of the language, or there might be the different context, different situation of study of the languages. So for example, we are studying English in Nepal. We are studying English as the foreign language. We are studying English in Nepal as the second language, but it is not our first language. We are not taking English as the first language, and there is the different context in learning the first language and the foreign language, first language and the second language. This means there might be different context of the study of the language. So this different context, different realities also are identified in the branches of linguistics. Okay. So whenever you are defining about the branches of linguistics, so we can make the different categories, different classification. The first point that is brought about the best point is the nature. On the basis of the nature of the linguistics, we can classify linguistics into two branches. Understand this thing. With the cases of the nature of the linguistics, we can classify them into two branches. First one is general linguistics. Next one is descriptive linguistics. And general linguistics does what? There are several points you can see. In general linguistics, especially what is done means we see the universal feature, universal aspects of the language. Let's see example. Every language has the grammatical system. Or not? Nepali has, English has, French has, Sanskrit has, Hindi has. This means what? Every language has the property of universal feature. They have the grammar. Like they have the structure. They have the vocabulary. They have the language function. These are what? These are the universal features. And linguistic studies that one. Linguistics studies the universal feature of the languages. And the general linguistics especially focus on the concept and the categories. What is that? It goes towards from the theoretical point of view. It goes towards the theory-based ideas one. What is that? What is the concept? What is grammar? What is meaning? What is structure? On what is just like how about the sound system? Phonetics. Now how this different phonetics are phonetic symbols are managed. This means what? It especially studies the language in general. It studies the language with the general features. This means what? Every language has some general features. Every language has some universal features, and that is dealt by the general linguistics. This is one part. That's why we can say that what this general linguistics especially discuss about the framework for describing the particular language. How can we describe the particular language? Let's take one example of Nepali language. Just you can make the description of Nepali language. Nepali language has these terms of values. For example, like in English language, there is the stress, but in Nepali language, there is no stress. You can describe with a particular feature of the language. It gives because stress, syllables, intonation pattern, tone, grammar, aspects, language functions. These are what? General feature of the language one. And sometimes some of the language may not have some features. Likewise, Nepali language do not have the stress. English is the stress time language, where the Nepali is not a stress time language. By this reference, we can describe the language with different frameworks. That's why journal linguistics deals with studying the language generally. It focuses to the concept and the categories. It sees the universal aspects of the language, and that universal aspect means what? Every language has the grammar system. Every language has language functions. Every language has vocabulary. Every language has meaning. These different common terms will be dealt by the general linguistics. This is one part. In case of the another nature, linguistics is also descriptive. In the descriptive feature, what happens? This general and descriptive, these two categories, these two binaries, we can tell these are the binary features. Like in descriptive feature, what is called, it studies the particular language. It focuses to the particular language, where general linguistics doesn't focus. There we talked about languages and all language. General linguistics goes towards the languages, and descriptive linguistics goes towards all language. Means it studies about the particular language, about the sound system of particular language, sound system of English, grammar of English, meaning of English, vocabulary of English, structure of English. This is studied by what? This is studied by the descriptive linguistics. So the descriptive linguistics study the particular language. It doesn't focus towards the general. Next thing is it focuses to the principle of language. Yes, what are the principle of languages? There we talk about the universal feature of the languages. There are some certain principle of the languages, some basic structure of languages. Just take the example. In Nepali language, we tell what? Ma bhat khanchu. In English, we tell I eat rice. We don't tell I rice eat. We don't tell. Because of what? This is due to the feature of the language. This is due to the principle of the language one. This means what? The structure of English and structure of Nepali language is different. Like whenever we are telling ma bhat khanchu, at the time we tell I eat rice. Ma bazar janchu, I go to market. But I to market go, do we tell? We never tell. Because it has some specific feature, it has some specific structure. That's why it focuses to the principle of the language, that the descriptive. Similarly, descriptive linguistics verify the theories provided by general linguistics. Yes, that we told. General linguistics provide the theories, and descriptive linguistics verify that theories either that can be applicable in that language or not. Because descriptive linguistics hides the feature of particular language. Sarmila Thapa, please mute your microphone. Then verify the theories provided by the general linguistics. Then the next thing is descriptive linguistics deals with what? In the language analysis feature also, just like by phonology, grammar, and meaning of the particular language that we talked. How the sounds are produced. Then what is the grammar system that we talked? That we just talked the example of like grammatical systems. Like in English, there is the SVO pattern. In Nepali, there is the SOV pattern. So these different kinds of features, or this individual feature, or this particular feature of the languages are dealt in the descriptive linguistics. That's why the first binary branch, you can tell, first binary branch based on the nature is general linguistics and the descriptive linguistics. Then similarly, there is another classification. Yes, another classification of the language. Like what? Can you see anything here on? What are you seeing in the screen?
Time 1950, 1970.
Then after you can find the different dates or not. So another category of classifying the linguistic is the time. Based on the time, on the basis of the time, we can divide them into the different branches. Just see. One branch is known as the Dichronic Linguistics. And this Dichronic Linguistics is known as the Historical Linguistics. This diachronic linguistics is a branch of linguistics based on the time. Don't forget, the first distinction is based on the nature. Yes, based on the nature, we have two features. I think you are clear on this. Yes, these are what? General and descriptive. And here, based on the time, one is the dichronic linguistics. And dichronic linguistics is also known as the historical linguistics. And what does it do? That means it focuses towards the development based on the period. It's development based on the period, how something is developing, how language is developing, how language development takes place, how language is being changed over the period from the different period of time. That's what you can see here. Yes, you can see in the figure here one, you can see one, and that is what means. Likewise, you can see clearly here. Okay. Yes, so you can see here the dates. It starts from 1950, 1970, 2000, 2010, 15, and 2021. Okay, you are seeing this. What does it show? Means how the language is developed over the period of time. How was the situation in 1950? How was the situation in 1970? Then in 2000, in 2010, and 2015, and 2021. Means how the language is being changed, how the language is developed. This is what? This is called the dichronic linguistics. We have to see the change of the language over the period of time. This, how was the language in Ranakal? How was the language in Mallakal? How was the language in Shahakal? And how is the language nowadays in federal Nepal? You can see over the period of the time and how the language is being developed. This process is known as what? Dichronic study of the language is one, and that is also known as the branch of the linguistics. Are you clear with this point? This talks about what? It talks about the period of the time, how it is being changed. There is no particularity of the time. It goes by the period. Yes, it goes by the period one. So what happens in that time, then after, from there to now. Likewise, you can see the situation of Nepal from 2007 to now. Yes, now is 2078. What is the language development phases from 2007 to 2078? That means you have to see the different periods of the times they want. This is called the dichronic variability of the language one. And next thing is synchronic linguistics. And this synchronic linguistics is known as development of the language on the basis of point of time to the particular time. Particular time. This means what? It is not historical. It focuses to the point of time. How was the situation of language in 2010? Just you can see the example here. Yes, how was the situation of language in 2010? Then after, we don't see in 2011, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. We don't see. Just then, how is the situation of language in 2020? Just we studied the language in 2010. Then after, we studied the language in 2020. This means what? It talks about the development of the language based on the point of time. There is one particular time, then in the particular time we study about the language. This is the second, you can tell, the dichotomy. This is the second distinction, or this is the second binary feature of the branches of linguistics, and we can have the another branch based on the time. And the time is what? One, historical linguistics, and you can tell the non-historical linguistics, or you can tell the dichronic linguistics, or you can tell the synchronic linguistics. In dichronic linguistics, what do we see? We see the change of the time, the change of the language based on the period of the time, like 2007 to 2078. Means 72 means that is what happens in the middle. Everything, every event will be calculated. But in synchronic linguistics, what happens means how the language takes place in the particular time. How was the situation of the language in 2010? Then how was the situation of the language in 2020? That means we study the language in the particular time, in the particular given time. This is the second distinction. Okay. The next distinction is made whenever you are talking about the branch is the use based. Yes, use based. You have to take the use based values. And the branch can be seen from the use based values. That is called what? Theoretical linguistics and the applied linguistics. Yes, theoretical linguistics and applied linguistics. Theoretical linguistics especially does what? Means theoretical linguistics produce the theory. That is the producer. Produce the theory. It is the producer and it is highly relevant towards the general linguistic features. Yes, it is. It is just like sometimes we can see the general linguistics is also known as the theoretical linguistics. Yes, general linguistics can also be known as the theoretical linguistics because this theoretical linguistics produce the different theories in the linguistics. Different language theories are produced by the theoretical linguistics. That's why it is known as the producer of the theories. Understand that? Theoretical linguistics is the producer of the theory. Then next thing is applied linguistics means applied linguistics apply that theory. Yes, which theory is produced by the theoretical one that is applied by the applied linguistics. Just like which we are studying now, this is the example of what applied linguistics. This is the applied linguistics. The linguistic that we are studying is the applied linguistic because the theories are already made and based on these theories we are producing new ideas. So this is the matter of application of the theories. Here we can find the practicality and applied linguistics is the user, not the producer, what is produced. And it focuses both on general and descriptive branch. Yes, you can see. We can find the description of the language and you can see, for example, just like the producer of this is tabular. Yes, like you may be seeing this tabular. The producer of this is tabular is in one place and nowadays we are using. Means we are using means we are having the applied fields. Means what we use. Like for example, someone introduced the grammar translation method, then we can apply the grammar translation method here. This grammar translation method is the theory, that is the theoretical part, and we apply this grammar translation method in the classroom. That is called what? Applied part. That's why applied linguistics use the theories, which is produced by the theoretical linguistics. Okay. Then after, there is the another area. This is called based on the coverage, based on the area. Yes, based on the area. We have two types of linguistics. That is, one is called microlinguistics and there is called macrolinguistics. And microlinguistics and macrolinguistics based on the area or the coverage. And microlinguistics does what? Narrower view of the language. It focuses the structure of language system, and that is within the language, or it is the in-depth study of internal language levels. That means what? Micro means in-depth study. Whenever we find, like there is the grammar, morphology, syntax, different structure of the sentences, different function of the sentences, that whenever we go detailedly, the detailed study is known as what? Microlinguistics. Just like within the language, that is within the language. For example, if you study the English language grammar, English language sound system, phonology of English language semantics, English language pragmatics, English language discourse analysis, English language discourses. This means what? This is known as the microlinguistics. That what happens within the language. The things that we study, it focuses highly to the structures of the language is one, or that means what? Particularization of the language. And after particularizing the language, we have to focus in-depth study of the language is one. That's why microlinguistics studies the language in depth. This is known as the detailed study of the language. Yes, that's to understand that micro study is the detailed study of the language. Next part is the macro. Macro means broader. Yes, micro means narrow but detailed. Yes, narrow but detailed. Just like whenever you find this pen, yes, whenever you find this pen, just like you may be seeing this pen, then whenever you find this pen, what do you think? Oh, this is the pen. Only this is the broader point of view. This pen has this cover, then it has the tip, and here we can fill the ink, and the ink can be this way, and this is written in this side, and this is written in this side. If you go in depth way, that will be known as the micro. Means whenever we find something, we have to go to the depth of that part. It's called the micro one. Macro means surface, general study, just like we find something and we go in surface level, and we don't go to the deep level. Like for example, for example, just I want to show you one book. Just like, suppose this is the book. This is the book on educational research. Yes, like if you go through the book page wisely, yes, page wisely, turn wise, you turn this thing every page, like page number 1, what is here, like yes, in this part 1, introduction to educational research, and this part, then whenever you go to this part and you want to go line by line, yes, you want to go line by line, and you want to study everything detailedly, you want to identify this thing, this is called what? Micro. But what are the different chapters are given in the book? Yes, how many chapters are there, and how many chapters are relevant to me? Whenever you go in this order, at that time, this will be the macro. So macro is the superficial one, and micro is the detailed one. Understand this thing in the way. Yes. So macro study is the broader view, and it focuses on the use of language, use of social system, psychology, interrelationship with other disciplines. Okay, so macro study goes to the psychology, goes to the society, goes to the systems. This is interdisciplinary, means this is not within the language. This is beyond the language. Yes, this is beyond the language. This means what? Linguistics is not only categorized within the language. Linguistics also can go beyond to the language also. So macro level study of linguistics goes towards what? The superficial level, but it covers the broader area. It covers the area of the society. It covers the area of psychology. It covers the area of different interdisciplinary, just like mathematics, science, or different categories may be given. So next thing is like language acquisition system and affecting factors also come there one. How the language is acquired, or what different factors affect to the language acquisition parameters one. This is also comes in the macro level. Okay, so up to now, just review for some time. Okay, so I'm asking with Sarmila. Okay, please unmute. Then Sarmila, could you tell me, up to now we discussed the 4 criteria of classifying linguistic into different branches. Could you tell me these 4 criteria? Sarmila. Sarmila Thapa, are you there? I think she opened the class and she went somewhere. Jarana Neupani. Jarana, are you listening me? Are you listening me? Hello, Jarana? Are you listening me? But I'm not listening you. There you might have some network problem. Okay, so please mute. Then Bobby Lamichani. Bobby?
Sir.
Yes, are you listening me? Okay, so could you tell me these 4 criteria of classifying the branches of linguistics? What is the first?
Sir.
Did you come late?
Roger.
Okay. Then after Puja Rizal. Puja Rizal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so could you tell these 4 criteria of distinguishing the different branches of linguistics?
Theoretical linguistics.
Yes, so theoretical linguistics. So what is the criteria for that? Like based on the nature, yes. The first thing is based on the nature. Based on the nature, we have what? Theoretical and?
Applied.
Theoretical and?
Applied linguistics.
Applied or theoretical and descriptive? Okay, so please, all of you listen once again. Yes, and note down these things as well. Just like I'm, yes, see, I'm going back. U. I'm going back. Okay, so do not forget this. The first criteria is nature. On the basis of the nature, there are two branches of the linguistics. Don't forget, two branches of the linguistics. First one is general and second one is descriptive. Then next, based on the time, there is one diachronic linguistics. Don't forget, based on the time, one is dichronic linguistics and another is synchronic linguistics. Don't forget this. Are you remembering? Please note down. Based on the time, there are two types of linguistics, diachronic and synchronic. Then third criteria is use-based. On the basis of the use, there is theoretical linguistics and applied linguistics. What is? On the basis of the use, there is theoretical linguistics and applied linguistics. The next is on the basis of the area, there is microlinguistics and macrolinguistics. We have 4 criteria or not? Okay, Resma. I'm asking with Resma. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Resma, could you tell me these 4 criteria of classifying the linguistics into different branches?
First math time को चाहिँ
Yes, time. Okay. On the basis of time, there
time
are
diachronic linguistic and synchronic linguistics.
yes,
And
yes.
basic वाला based वाला चाहिँ theoretical linguistic and applied linguistics.
Yes, yes, please.
अनि अर्को कुन वाला चाहिँ microlinguistic and macrolinguistics.
Microlinguistic, and you left the first one. First one is
Sociolinguistic and psycholinguistic.
The first one is on the basis of the nature. We have 2. That is general linguistics and descriptive linguistics. Don't forget this. Okay, Bibas Chaudhary. Bibas.
Branches of language.
Sir.
Okay, so could you tell me the things? Tell me these 4 criteria of classifying the branches of linguistics. Bibas, please speak. Okay, so just like whenever you are listening to the teacher, please develop your habit of note taking and having the attention towards on it. Okay, so now let me share you again. The first criteria is
general and linguistic.
Nature. Note down everyone. The first criteria is the nature. On the basis of the nature, there are 2 branches. Yes, are you putting in the mind? On the basis of the nature, there are 2 branches. One is general and another is descriptive. Yes, general and descriptive. Second, on the basis of the time, there are also 2 branches, dichronic and synchronic. The third one is on the basis of the use-based. There are also 2 branches, that is theoretical and applied. And the next criteria is on the basis of the area, there are also 2 branches, micro and macro linguistics. Okay, so do you get my points now or not? So now, just see what comes under the, then now it is our most relevant criteria or most relevant idea that we need to discuss in all of the courses. Microlinguistics covers the area of phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics. Yes, I will minimize this. Okay, pragmatics, just you can see. Microlinguistics deals on what? Means phonetics, phonology. Phonetics, phonology, that means what? Study of the sound system or not. Then morphology, syntax, this is the study of the grammar. Yes, phonetics, phonology deals on the sound system. Morphology, syntax deals on the grammar. Then next one is semantics. Semantics deals on the meaning. Semantics and pragmatics deals on the meaning. Just you can find out 3 things here. The first thing is the sound system. Second thing is the grammar. Third thing is the meaning. Phonetics and phonology discusses about how the sounds are produced, how the sounds are transmitted, or how the sounds function. Morphology and syntax talk about the grammar, morphology in the word level and syntax in the sentence level. Semantics talks about the meaning, direct meaning. It's direct meaning, dictionary meaning. What is the meaning? What is the real meaning of this? Then pragmatics talks about the contextual meaning, meaning by the situation. Yes, meaning by the situation. This is dealt by the microlinguistics, and in our course, we focus to the microlinguistics. And this microlinguistics here, it studies about the phonetics, phonology of English language, morphology of English language, syntax of English, semantics of English, pragmatics of English. That means what? We focus to the English language. We go in depth about the English language. This means here we are focusing the microlinguistics. Next thing is the macrolinguistics. Under macrolinguistics, you are seeing at the first there, what is there? Psycholinguistics. And psycholinguistics deals on what? Means a language in relation to the psychology, language in relation to the mind, language in relation to the soul. Yes, how language can be related with the mind, how language can be related to the soul. This means personal behaviors. This is what? Connection of the language and our personal behavior and attitude. Psycholinguistics. Similarly, macrolinguistics also studies about the social linguistics, language and the society, how language contribute in the society and how society contribute to the language. Means how these social features come there in the language is one. Next thing is the neurolinguistics. That means how the language is processed in the mind from the neurological point of view. Just like we have the different types of the brains, different parts of the brains, how they can be activated in the brain, like our left brain, right brain. We have the different types of the brains they want and how can they function. And next thing is the computational linguistics. And this computational linguistics also known as linguistic, statistical linguistics as well. This is also known as the mathematical linguistics, how it is connected to the other disciplines also. Applied linguistics. Then how can we apply into different languages? Discourse analysis and forensic linguistics. Just you can see. Forensic linguistics means that is the language used in the law. Yes, language used in the law. You can see. So the linguistics can have the different branches, and mostly in the courses, these micro and macro branches has been discussed on, but you have to know this thing also. Right? In most of the courses, there is only talking about micro and macro linguistics, but you have to know about this general linguistics, descriptive linguistics, synchronic, dichronic, theoretical, applied, then micro and macro. Means you have to know about these different 8 branches of the linguistics. Within that 8 branches, and here now we are focusing towards what? Means micro and macro linguistics. We are highly focusing towards the micro and macro linguistics. And micro linguistics discuss within the language, with a particular language. We are not connecting with the other things. Just we are connecting with the language. Just we are connected with the English language. What is the sound system of English? What is the grammar of English? What is the meaning of English? We just focus on this thing. But macro linguistics, what is the relation of English language with the society? What is the relationship of English language to the psychology of every beings? What is the relationship of English language to the law? What is the relationship of English language to the mathematics? What is the relationship of English language to the different discourses, to the politics, to the policy, to the other factors, market, to the likewise how English can be used in the different fields, like in the field of the engineering, field of the like medicine. How can we use? This goes towards the macro level of the linguistics one. Okay, so this is what. This is just we are talking about the different parts of the linguistics, different branches of the linguistics one. Now you must be clear. Yes, you must be clear with the things that the branches of the linguistics especially focus on to the parts of developing the different ideas into the different categories one. Okay, so these are known as the different branches of the linguistics one. Okay, so now just see 1 minute, and I'm stopping this here. And After stopping this here one, just I would like to ask you some questions here. And I found here 16 participants. Use 16 participants here. I will take the screenshot of yours because of the attendance one. Okay, so like for example, you can, if you have the good internet access, you can turn on your video. This is for the attendance purpose. Would you turn on the video, please? Everyone turn on the video for 1 minute or for 30 seconds. That's for the attendance because I want to see your faces. Because I'm just knowing you in the colleges and we disappeared due to the lockdown and it's difficult to know you. That's why I want to know you here one. Please turn on the videos, everyone. Yes, Sunita Sai, Bimala Lamichani, then other people. Okay, Lasmi Rakhal, Puja Rijal, Sadani Lamichane, Puja Raul, Jarana Neupane, Bobby Lamichane, yes, Anjali Ramjali, Vikas Chaudhary. Then how about Puja Rawal? Yes, Puja Rawal. I'm seeing the ceiling of Puja Rawal there. Resma Buddha. Resma, yes. Sharmila Thapa. Then Sharmila Magar and Sharmila Thapa is same? Yes. Okay. So this is the attendance. This is the attendance of yours one. Okay. Then now, please, I'm asking question to Lasmi Rakhal. Okay, Lasmi. So what are the branches of linguistics you know from our discussions today? Yes, Lasmi?
It's a branch of linguistics
Yeah.
and nature.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two types, general and descript,
Yes.
and time,
Yes.
dynamic and symbolic,
Okay. Okay.
and use based, theoretical and apply,
Great.
and area covers micro and macro.
Thank you. Great idea. Yes. So I clap your ideas that you did the great work. Okay. So we have these 4 categories, and out of these 4 categories, we have the every binary categories, and we have the 8 branches. Oh, not. We have altogether 8 branches of linguistics. Okay. So now I want to ask to Chandani Lamichani. Okay. So Chandani, could you tell me what are the branches of microlinguistics?
Macro and micro.
Yes. So what comes under the micro?
Phonetics,
Yes. Yes.
phonology,
Mm-hmm.
morphology, syntax,
Great. Great.
semantics, pragmatics.
Great. Yes. Great. Great work you did. I clap. Okay. Next, Bivas, I'm asking you. I think you are only one boy in this class today. Yeah. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So look for the other boys. Where did they go? Ask them. Okay. So could you tell me what comes under the macro linguistics? Macro.
Phonological linguistics.
Macro, not micro. I'm not asking you micro. Macro linguistics. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any problem?
No, sir.
Okay. So I think Lasmi Bohra is ready to give the answer. Yes. Lasmi Bohra.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the different parts of the macro linguistics?
Psycholinguistics,
Yes, great.
sociolinguistics,
Yeah,
neurolinguistics,
yeah.
computational linguistics,
Mm-hmm.
applied linguistics,
Mm-hmm.
and discourse analysis,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
cornelist linguistics.
Forensic. Okay. So, Bibos, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Net
Yes.
problem, sir.
Okay. So you are clear now. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So, do you have any questions? Any other? Mm-hmm.
no, sir.